Welcome, students, to Anime Academia. In today's class, we will be having One Piece. I would like to begin with roll call. I will call Tony,
Present.
Irish,
Here?
Pan,
I don't have presents, but I can give you the coronavirus.
Jesus
you got
Christ.
detention right
Too
here.
soon.
Munchie.
Here.
All right, now that everyone's present, I would like to let the class begin.
Alright, so today we will be covering everything from Buggy's backstory all the way to Colby and Helmeppo's story with the Marines. Yeah, so since we're starting off at Buggy's backstory, we'll start off with Pan. What were you want to run down Buggy's backstory first and your thoughts?
So, when I seen Buggy's backstory, I was like, oh, okay, so he was somewhat of a decent, not saying he was good or bad, but decent pirate. You know, he wasn't like that harshful until he got the gum. We didn't even see when he got the gum. But when he met, what's the Jack in the Box dude's name?
Oh, I didn't even think about writing that down.
Literal Jack in the Box.
Yeah, we'll just call him Jack. Forget his name.
Yeah. You guys know the guy with the green afro.
So the guy in the chest?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah,
tried to
that
find that treasure
on
on top of the hill, but never found it. Yeah.
But,
Until
once-
Luffy came by.
Yeah, once Buggy met him, it was like really weird how they interacted with. At first, they were trying to kill each other because Buggy was trespassing on his island, and then all of a sudden, their buddies drinking sake. What?
Well, that's not really. He was in the cage for a while. That was pretty nice.
Gaimon. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Oh, Gaimon. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember now. But then you also had what was it? They both were sitting around the campfire, drinking, eating, and the crazy animals were dancing. And then you had them both talking about Luffy, but in completely different perspectives.
Exactly.
So,
Like, one seen Luffy as a good guy, but the other seen Luffy as a bad guy, but they weren't talking about Luffy.
Hold on.
Or
They don't see him
were
as a
talking
bad
Luffy,
guy.
but they didn't know it was Luffy.
He just sees him as his enemy.
Yeah.
So to him, he's the bad guy.
Yeah, they
And I,
wasn't it Gaimon? He was just saying how this younger generation's so great, and Buggy was saying how he hated the young generation.
Yeah. They both have different perspectives on the young generation of pirates because you can get a handful where they actually fulfill their goal, just like Luffy, but you can get some that are just very, how should I put it, very, egotistical and just want one certain thing, and they want this, that, and the other, and the third.
Hmm.
Yeah. But then you have him meeting Alvida.
Which
Well,
I didn't
you-
even know it was Alvida.
You don't
At
know
first
I
if
had no idea.
Well, you
When
don't-
compare like past to present. It's like, who is this beauty and who is this
Legit, yeah.
person, for lack of a better word?
Well, you don't find it out, and she's Alvida until Loguetown. So it's just very confusing who she is.
Yeah, she's just this mysterious lady that same as Buggy. They both want to, grab the 30 million berries from Luffy.
Well,
And I know the revenge.
what I find crazy, and I just thought about this, Luffy defeated both of them in the same way. He sent both of them flying.
Yeah, and
So
now
they
both
met
got
up.
back.
They met up when what was it? Was Alvida searching for Buggy?
Mm-mm.
No, they just happened. My
Because-
question is, why is Elvira so mad? He should be thanking Luffy, which he actually does.
Yeah, she
Like,
thinks him. She actually has a crush on him because he's not afraid to hit a woman. if I recall, she wanted him to be his man.
What?
Oh yeah. I do.
Yeah, Alvida asked Luffy to be her man.
That's in Loguetown. Let's
Oh, okay, yeah.
roll it back.
Roll it back.
So, how this all started was that Buggy was on like a separate island, right? or he was cast out to sea, something like that, and he still couldn't find his chop chop parts, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So his crewmates all had to fight over pirates, and they landed on some land where there was a cannibal tribe.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Oh yeah.
A cannibal tribe, okay.
Well,
And that's where the
before
part
that,
started.
before the cannibal tribe gets revealed, the crew got split into a fighting match between the lion tamer Moegi and
the
the
cyclist.
what's the cyclist's name? Do any of you guys remember?
Um,
I just know he was a swordman.
Yeah,
he is a
they,
swordsman,
That handed
but-
to him.
they got into like a what was it, like 5-6 hour fight longer, and then at the end of it, when they were weak, the lion ended up becoming the crew captain.
That didn't end too well. They all got put in the cooking
So-
pot.
I'll have to
Goodbye,
ask.
what's the guy's name?
I'll have to ask.
It was Kirby special attack.
At the end of this backstory, what were your thoughts on Buggy? Because I remember you didn't like him as a character.
Yeah, okay. I didn't like him just because he was a bit obnoxious. But after seeing his backstory and how he was actually like you could say friends or at least crewmates with Shanks, and how their like ideals were kind of differing or
I don't think his backstory was shown here.
wait.
His actual backstory, just a little bit,
Oh, they did show a little bit of his backstory here?
a tiny bit, but not too much.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I wasn't
Wait,
sure.
So am I going ahead?
Wait, did they show the part where he ate the fruit? Or
No. Oh wait,
Okay.
yeah. That
Yeah,
was-
they showed that
They
back
teased
in
it.
Orangetown.
yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
I think that was a very funny part though, where
Not really eating the fruit, he just swallowed it.
yeah,
Yeah.
where Shanks just taps him on the back and he just gets it to swallow.
We totally forgot to say that in the first one. Wow.
We did. There,
I
like I
was gonna
said,
mention it, but I just kinda
people
let it slide.
people didn't like how we left a lot of information out in the first one.
I
Like
mean,
there was
hey,
a bunch.
it was our first attempt, so
We also missed Gaimo. No, not Gaimo.
Again?
Nami's stepfather figure. We didn't talk about him at all.
that father.
The guy with the fan
the
thing?
pinwheel. The pinwheel. We didn't talk about him
Oh
either.
yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway.
so after the buggy crew had their big fight between the two, and the lion ended up becoming the captain, that's when the cannibal tribe comes in.
Yeah. I forget their actual name, but they were cannibal.
I don't think it was said. I think it was just cannibal tribe.
It was said, but it wasn't like remembered. They were just a tribe that just ate other people.
I gotcha.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's when Buggy came along and actually beat up and whatnot and just flattened out. And they were like, "Who did this to you?" And they were like, "It was the cannibals." Well, I think it was Alvita that said it was cannibal. Like, this island is specifically owned by the cannibal tribe. And then that's when they went to find the crew and possibly Bucky's parts, and then they cut to this part where they're all in the cooking pot, and then Buggy and Alvita are at the top of the mountain. Chop, bro. Honestly, I've never been more happy for that man. Like, I hated him, but he was just, he was just so cool.
A little bit off topic. But
So
what do you guys pick? The gum or the rubber fruit or the chop fruit?
honestly, chop.
Really?
Yeah.
Pan?
I mean, we still don't understand what both fully do because it seems
At this point in time, the only you can stretch and all that stuff, but you can still get cut. Like
yeah.
I'm still more. I don't know. At this point in the story, I probably lean more towards chop. But
Mainly because you can separate your parts if you're going to get chopped there.
yeah,
you know?
but
Yeah, some
just
yeet.
just knowing how since I'm fully caught up in the show, just knowing how Luffy takes his techniques and evolves them, I would eventually go towards the Gum Gum. But it's just like I don't think I would be able to take the same route Luffy did. Like I feel like I would use the Gum Gum fruit completely differently. So same with the Chop Chop. Like I think I would use the Chop Chop like Buggy does, whereas like for Luffy, like there's so many different ways you can use it. You're not going to use it the same way Luffy does. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, especially
Maybe it's just like Luffy's mentality when in combat that gives him the upper hand and eventually polish it.
Yeah, and he's much more straightforward than a lot of other characters, I guess. He just
But
shoots
anyways,
his
it was just a side comment, side question. Back on track.
Not to cut off Munchie.
Yes.
But
I mean, hey, it's a good topic.
so now we get back to the Straw Hats, and they're heading to Logtown.
Mm-hmm.
And Nami,
And so are the Buggy Pirates, don't forget.
and the Buggy Pirates and Alvita Pirates, since they're one crew now, they're heading to Logtown, and so is Luffy. But now when we cut back to the Straw Hats, Nami's talking about the hype and the information regarding Logtown.
She's also saying how risky it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, anywhere you go that's far away from home is going to be pretty risky.
I mean, anywhere you go with a 30 million berry bounty on your head is pretty risky.
Now,
I mean, this was before the bounty, right? Or after? I forget.
I think his bounty was revealed on his way to Logtown it was
Yeah,
revealed at the
it was.
beginning of Logtown
yeah.
because
So,
Smoker had his wanted poster,
yep.
and
yep.
that's why he went to the port, and he beat up a pirate and said, "Oh, this ain't a guy worth 30 million berries." After he just told Luffy where to. I thought that was hilarious.
It was hilarious. And
Yeah.
speaking of which, Smoker,
Smoker.
my opinion, most badass Marine out there. Like, he just does his own thing, dude. Just me? Just me?
He was
I'm just
pretty
saying.
nice.
I'm just saying.
Also,
His devil fruit.
his devil fruit was nice. Well, didn't on Logtown they meet the sniper guy that was friends with the guy in Shank's crew?
Yes.
Usopp met him? or
Well,
whatever?
you're talking about Daddy the father.
yeah, the father of Usopp.
So he wasn't friends with Yasop. He was actually.
He was
I think-
actually shot by Yasa.
Yeah.
Well,
He was
I
by
think Daddy the father was actually going after the Shanks crew, and he got challenged to a duel by Yasop.
Yeah.
That's when that happened, and Yasop spared it because of the kid. But we're jumping too far ahead. So when you first get to Logtown, first thing you see is Smoker in his office, and when he gets the bounty, he's like, Straw Hat Luffy's on his way here. Biggest bounty in the East Blue. Defeated all these big name pirates, which was Arlong, and all these other guys who had like 17, 20 million berry bounties, so they were pretty well known. So Luffy's name is like known throughout the East Blue now. And when he's going to Logtown, Smoker wants to meet him at the port, and as he's walking in, he bumps into a girl. And her ice cream falls over and everything. And when I saw the father's reaction of the little girl, I instantly thought it was another Captain Morgan. Because of the way the father was feared of the Marine, I thought it was another Captain Morgan where it's a terrible person and like Luffy's gonna have to save the village. But it ended up being Smoker's like just a really awesome dude overall. So I thought that was like my favorite part of Smoker's character. Was when he was like, "Here's have some money. Looks like my pants ran into your ice cream." I thought that was fun.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, that man's lungs got to be black.
Yeah,
Look
that's what
how
I was
many
gonna say.
cigarettes-
My
Look how many
first thought of
cigarettes he
it-
has on.
This man is gonna die relatively
Yeah,
soon. There's not enough battles
might
of
have-
damn cigars, man.
He might have ate those cigarettes. The double fruit. What is it? The boom boom.
No, the smoke.
No, it's something weird. What was it
No.
called? Oh, it's gonna kill me.
Besides the point, maybe just give him immunity.
It gives
Yeah,
him like the ability to turn his body into smoke.
Maybe the smoke doesn't affect him anymore after he ate it, and that's why he can just like. Wait, maybe it's like a fuel.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. That's actually a good point because anytime you see him in the series, he's actually smoking those cigars. So it might be. Maybe he inhales the smoke and he can use that smoke to his advantage. But he's a Logia type.
Oh, it's the Moku Moku. Oh.
Are you looking stuff up right now, fan?
Yes.
Be careful. Be very careful.
I'm very careful. I'm not.
Let me do the looking up from now. I
Spoiler alert.
massive spoilers. But
Yeah.
anyways, so yeah, after Smoker goes to the port, he beats up a guy, and he tells Luffy follow the smoke to the what do you call it? The
execution platform.
The execution platform, and that's where you see Luffy dangling. Or first, Luffy stares at the platform and goes, "So this is where the king of the pirates died." And as he's going there, he's actually reminiscing, thinking like, "I'm walking the same streets he did." I thought that was cool. Like he's
It's a
seeing.
fanboy moment.
Well, it's not only that. It's like he's seeing his objective in front of him, saying, "So the king of the pirates was born here and died here. This is where his adventure started. So I can pick up from there. Not like take over his adventure, but like this is the true start of my journey." That's how I interpret it.
And another note, if we can roll back a bit, we also meet Tashigi here, which we have not mentioned.
That's
But-
true.
The girl?
Yeah,
Or
the girl.
oh yeah, yeah.
Smoker's right hand.
Oh
Well-
yeah, she we can get into that when he gets it. Zoro gets his two swords.
Yes, that's what I was going to.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. But yeah. So as Smoker and Luffy are at the execution platform, and Luffy's trying to climb it, and Smoker catches him midway. At the same time, Usopp is versing Daddy the Father, which goes back to what Munchie was talking about earlier.
At the time, Daddy the Father was.
You cut out.
At the time, Daddy the Father was my favorite. Like,
I still love the movie.
your favorite Marine or your favorite like character?
character in general.
I hated his daughter though.
Yes.
She grew on me at the end where she was like, "Don't kill him." I liked her at the end of the duel.
I can't kill him. He hit it right at the ground.
That was a badass Usopp moment. He had to fucking man up. Pardon my French, I gotta beat that. But he manned up. That dude was like, "I can't run from this." He just complimented me like with my dad and all that stuff. First story I ever heard about him. Like, I have to man up and be like my dad.
Did anybody else think he was going to miss?
I did.
I did.
I thought I was gonna miss and get.
I'm sorry, Usopp. I didn't have faith in you.
I had faith. I
did
He got
not at all.
sniper. He's our sniper. Can't.
Even with the slingshot, right? That was.
Oh shit. Okay. As the series goes on, he just gets progressively better.
He's always a
Right.
coward though.
Hey.
With his 8,000 men under him.
Yo, I can't say anything. All right, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was an awesome duel, and at the end, Usopp got his goggles, which are they're kind of like, I would say they're kind of like scopes where he can like zoom in like binoculars for better aiming.
Yeah, the actual sniper of the group now.
Yeah, so like that's the thing, and then you also.
Which, by the way, was like what, like 5,000 berries?
I'm gonna guess.
I don't remember.
Berries are similar to the Japanese currency, so like it's probably closer to like $20 US. So it's not as expensive as it is, but berries are still extremely expensive.
Isn't that scene like where actually Zoro and Tashigi bump into each other and he ends up breaking the glasses?
Oh yeah, and
That's where he broke her
Tashigi-
glasses.
yeah, and Tashigi looks like I forget her name, but
Kushina.
Zoro's-
Yeah.
Kushina.
Like Kushina. How do you
How do
you
you
compare
get-
to Kushina?
Yeah, she was insane. How did she die? Did she like? trip and fall?
She fell off the stairs. But no, the craziest part is Zoro was actually getting pissed at her. Like, it's not my fault you look like her. Like, stop looking like her. Like,
who are you talking about? I know.
I thought it was.
No, my thing is like throughout the whole thing, she doesn't realize that he's a wanted pirate.
well,
Yeah.
He's
first,
just like helping him out, and then Zora's like telling me, I don't know, man. Like you shouldn't jump to conclusions. You know, some pirates are different. She was like, nah, they're all the same. I just want the swords. Like yes, and that.
well, before that, she actually, when Zora breaks the glasses, she actually gives him a job as a marine janitor. So he's
yeah.
doing 3 mop style cleaning the floors.
And she just doesn't notice.
She still doesn't know.
And then and then 2 Marines figure out like, oh, this
Yeah,
dude's
it's-
Zoro. Like, let's capture him real quick. And then he busts out and he goes to the sword shop eventually.
And she's there, right? Or
And
she
then
wasn't.
he's talking to her. Well, he goes in with the Wado
Wado
Ichimonji.
Ichimonji, yeah.
Yeah. And the guy, he's just like, all right, I need 2 more swords. And he's like, I want your sword that you're currently carrying, swordsman. Thinking
Yeah,
he's about to scam Zoro out of this legendary sword.
Yeah,
And then that girl comes in. He's
And
like,
then
that's at
Tashigi
least
comes
worth
in.
1 million.
yeah, that's worth like 5 million berries and whatnot. Like,
She said, I think it was 10 million, she said.
Yeah, 11. I
Something
think no, it was 11. I think.
Oh, okay. Either way, this is the two things happen at this point. You have Zoro trying to get scammed, but then we also find out about the rarities of swords.
Oh yeah.
So you have Mihawk's creative sword. I forget the name, and I'm not even gonna try to butcher it. But it goes like Mihawk's creative swords, and then right under it you have what Zoro's sword is. So
Yeah.
Zoro's like Wado Ichimonji, that white sword he constantly carries around, that is from his like childhood. That sword is like legendary and like well known. That's how Tashigi was easily recognized. Like she's like, that's the Wado Ichimonji. Like it's a legendary sword. Like how did you get it and all this stuff. But yeah, just a fun fact. That's where we learn about that.
He also doesn't she also help him shopping because he's on a budget, or in other words.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention how Zoro got the money. He took a loan from Nami.
yeah,
which is
100%
by the way
interest.
a terrible idea. Yes.
Well, he had no choice. She was like, for 300% interest, I'll give you the money you need for your new swords. And as a swordsman, he can't go around without his 3 swords. So he didn't really have a choice. He got scammed.
The way he picked the swords, that was pretty cool. Where he would feel them up,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
and he like felt that one was like the one, and
The
then
cursed one.
yeah, the
Yeah,
two
it was
cursed
like,
ones,
I'm gonna
right?
test my luck.
I think.
Well,
it was
no,
one
just
first,
the
right?
one.
No,
It was.
oh really?
I think
And
it was
then-
only the one, and then the second sword, he goes, this is only for a true swordsman. I would never sell this. And it was like his most expensive sword.
Yeah.
And then he did sell it.
But before that,
just gave
before all that happened, Zoro's like looking around and he's like, I only have 100. And the shop owner's getting pissed and it's like, you can only get like 2 barrel swords. And he's looking at them and Tashigi walks in. We already had that conversation. And he picks up a sword and he goes,
This one's
I-
cursed.
he goes, I like this sword. And then the shop owner starts getting mad and saying, I can't sell you that sword. And Tashigi's
Yeah.
like, well, this is such a high quality sword. Why are you only selling this for so cheap? And then that's when Zoro jumps in and goes, it's cursed.
Yup. And
How
then
does
that's
he
when
realize?
yeah, that was
just saw the
that's a
glow.
great.
It's just like a swordman thing.
And the
Yeah.
way he tested his luck was just amazing.
Oh yeah, he threw the sword up and like I put my arm out, and if this bitch cut me, I'm cut. All right.
Well, yeah, and it
That's
knocks
not
the
what-
shop owner down and it knocks Tashigi down. Like, they had heart attacks. And Zoro's just like, I like it. I'll take it. And then that's when the shop owner, like, busts a nut and runs in, grabs the expensive sword, and hands it to Zoro, saying,
Yup.
take this. And Zoro's like, I don't have money. He's like, you can take both swords for free.
And then his mom or whoever. So you're gonna let him get the sword and now you like chill.
I thought it was
It's a
funny
good
when
Doesn't he like at one point talk to the swords and tell them like, "Oh, y'all better behave" or something like that?
That's later on. That's at Whiskey Peak.
I loved it. I loved it when he tried to give back the money to Nami, and she's like, "No, I need my 200."
Yeah, she was a bitch. Oh, shit. I gotta watch my mouth.
Which you would expect. You would expect her to be nice to them after they literally help her get like break free from
Yeah,
the shark
she's all
pirates.
about she's all about that money though.
Oh,
And I think
That's just not me. We
well,
can't change
at
it.
this point, she's still only with the crew for money, but she's also doing it for fun and stuff. But she's still, like, her main goal is to just create this. Well, we'll talk about their dreams after. But she's still all about the money.
Yeah.
That doesn't change until much. I'm not going to spoil. But, yeah.
Better change at some point.
I think she has like an adoration for Luffy though, for the way he dealt with the stuff at back at Arlong.
Arlong Park.
Well,
yeah.
that's why she wouldn't do that to Luffy. She
Yeah.
does it to Zoro, but she won't do it to Luffy.
Mhm.
But, yeah.
That's true.
Because she likes him.
But
I
then,
didn't even think about that.
but then,
No, bro, she hits him all the time. Like, come on.
well, the hitting
I
it
mean-
and having like
Physical contact.
trying to scam him out of money. That's like two different things. At this point, she has huge admiration for Luffy. She uses Sanji, and then Zoro's just there.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
Sanji's fault.
Oh, absolutely. Talking about Sanji, he had a cooking competition.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so Sanji now has his cooking competition. He didn't want to join it until he saw the blue fin
The-
tuna sandwich or something, the fish or
Dude,
something.
the bluefin,
Something.
the west blue elephant.
The
God,
the weird looking fish that he
The-
has.
The dolphin unicorn.
The
look-
west blue elephant fish. That
He said that it was only he said that it was only
from the
found
West.
it was found in the West Blue, and the only way to get it here is from the All Blue or something
Yeah.
like that. He
Yeah.
talked about like the All Blue or something in that situation. I
Yeah.
don't remember
Oh, did it?
exactly what he said.
No. Wasn't it the fisherman that actually caught it that said it? Like, in this
Yeah.
spot, like the currents of all the four oceans cross each other, and you can like fish.
Oh yeah, that's in
that's-
Logtown
yeah.
or whatever.
I thought
Yeah.
that place was the all blue.
I think
I'm
so, too.
guessing, since we're going to talk about later, but I'm guessing the All Blue is at the other end. So like at Reverse Mountain, you have all the stuff come together, but when you finally get back to at the end of the Grand Line, I think that's where the All Blue is. Same with like
I was thinking
everything
like
else.
when the four seas actually meet in the middle. That's where like the all blue is.
Are you
That's-
talking about in
that's at the
Reverse Mountain?
Yeah, that's
talking about
Reverse Mountain.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then,
Because we'll get into it like a little bit after this, but the way the world looks, that red line actually makes a ring around the entire world. So you actually have to cross the red line again at some point to continue the Grand Line.
Mhm.
What?
They show a map about it.
Yeah,
I know
so,
what he's talking
so
about.
pretty much the red line is a ring that goes around the entire world from end to end, and then as you're traveling through the Grand Line, you actually have to cross the red line one. So like you go up Reverse Mountain, you go through the Grand Line, you get to the red line once, and then the next time you hit it is going to be the end of the Grand Line. And the only person to ever do that was Gold D. Roger, the king of the pirates, and that's the whole goal. That's why all
who
the
was
pirates
executed in Loguetown.
exactly. If you think about it, Loguetown's not that far.
But
Because-
anyway, back. Yeah. Let's
Anyways,
not
back
get
to Sanji's cooking competition. I honestly don't remember this too much.
Who's
But I
the
rem-
girl that was fantasizing
my
over
one
him with
thing-
two...
As
Oh,
a food fan,
yeah, no, like she was. She watched him cook, I think, once, and how good he was,
Yeah.
and she like had an admiration, and she could never beat him.
no. He saw him in He didn't see him cook. He saw a newspaper of him cooking in the Baratier.
I don't
and
think that's
I-
true.
She was like a renowned chef, not like very famous, but she was kind of renowned for winning
Oh
competitions.
no! Wait! No, you're right, Munchie.
Yeah.
He did see him cook, but
they
they were
Fir-
kid.
we
Yeah,
first
we
seen her looking at a newspaper that says Sanji was the best cook, and then later after the competition was about to be done, that's when she revealed that she was actually on the same ship with Luffy. Not
Nah.
Luffy.
Sanji.
Back when they were
Ah.
kids.
Next time, let's not cut off Munchie.
Yeah, sorry. We keep on
My
doing
apologies.
that. I'm so sorry.
Tearing up over here.
See, you just gotta assert your dominance.
So yeah, obviously Sanji wins the cooking competition. I don't think we need to go too in depth with that.
Okay, I just want to drop one comment.
Go for it. You guys can give your thoughts and opinions
Like-
on the cooking competition.
It's just like they say he's the best chef and all, and like the East Blue, but I can't try his food. I'm not depressing. This is too.
Yeah, the soup when you're back at his restaurant, the soup it looks so bland. But like,
Exactly.
It looks like oil.
yeah, you want some vegetable oil?
You better not say it out loud, or he might just try to kill. Anyway,
Jeez.
Hey, hold on. Let me say it out loud. I'll ask him to cook
Sock him in
me
the
something
face.
before he kills me.
food sucks.
Oh my god.
Alright, so after the cooking competition, I don't remember when this happens, but after Luffy escapes from Smoker, he like rockets himself out by accident or something, and he ends up in a bar called the Gold Roger.
No, he lands in an alleyway and he sees like Gold Roger, blah blah blah, this way or whatever.
Yeah, and then-
The name of the bar was the Gold Roger something. That's all I can
Yeah.
say. He saw the sign for the Gold Roger. He went into the bar, and you meet the old man. The old
Lady?
no, it was a
Yeah,
man.
Man.
no, it was a
Was
man.
it a man?
Yeah,
My
wait,
God.
doesn't Smoker come down there also?
He comes
Yeah,
in after
afterwards.
Luffy. After
After
Luffy's
Luffy.
gone. But yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like a really awesome scene for me. I really enjoyed the old man. This is like the first time we see someone reminiscing about Gold Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we actually see him outside of the opening, where you're like, if you want my treasure, you can have it. Like, this is the first time we actually see a flashback of him, and I think it was so cool just seeing
Yeah.
how like Luffy and him had like similar aspirations.
And just seeing the actual like event take place back when Roger was still alive.
Yeah, because I think we only saw flashbacks of it,
Only flashbacks.
and then you get to see the full thing. And when Smoker comes down there, you get to see Smoker's point of view of it. I thought Smoker was gonna become a pirate or something when he was watching it.
Yeah, I thought the same, but I think Smoker's the way I took that his flashback when he was young, he wanted only pirates that were like Gold Roger to go. So like he didn't want some like really awful kind of person. He wanted someone who had drive, who was living life, not just trying to pillage and steal and all that stuff, but trying to actually be
So
free.
is that what you think that old lady or guy was referring to when he said there's not a lot of real pirates left out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when Luffy. What did Luffy say? Oh,
I'm gonna be
I
the
think he
king
just
pirate or
laughed.
something.
yeah. I'm gonna be king of the pirates. The thing that.
And I think the old
He
man
didn't-
just laughed at him.
No. I don't think he said I'm gonna be king of the pirates. I think because when he finished that flashback with Roger, Luffy was like, because he was like, this is the first time someone was willing and looking forward to the Grand Line.
Yeah.
And when the flashback ends, Luffy goes, well, I'm going to the Grand Line. I'm going to be
And
king of the
then-
pirates. And when he said I'm going to the Grand Line, but wasn't like timid about it, but actually excited and happy.
That's when the old man seen an old image of Roger sitting in that exact scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was,
That was dope.
yeah, I thought that was really cool.
So you could say Luffy is Rogers, but reborn.
Basically a prodigy.
This is not Naruto. There's not going to be reincarnations. I can guarantee you that
Yeah, there's not gonna be like
That
the
was all. That was
One-
all.
One Piece is more like will. Like
Yeah.
the will of someone is actually passed on, not the
And it-
actual reincarnation or
yeah,
something.
and it's not repetitive at all.
By the way, if you want to see a Naruto podcast, just leave a like on the.
What?
Nobody
No,
understood
no,
you.
no, no.
I like.
Although it's been a while.
I
I
didn't.
heard that if
I
you
can
want to
say
see
you-
Naruto podcast, you should like on this video.
So are we doing a Naruto podcast now?
Hey, let's see. Let's do 50 likes. If we get 50 likes,
Dude, that's pushing
that's
it.
You need at least 5, maybe.
we got 7 on our last video, so if we get 8 on this, then
Or
yes.
10. Even number.
Okay. How about 25?
Jeez, dude, chill. All right. Anyways, moving on.
Moving on.
So
It's almost
after Luffy in the bar, he comes out and is this when he meets Buggy? Like him and Buggy,
No,
like he starts searching for the
he-
platform again.
Buggy and Luffy do this whole thing where they don't see each other at least 20 minutes. They do not see each other for 20 minutes. These men were in the diner just eating some food, and Buggy just keeps on slamming down on the table, and all
Buggy
his money
actually-
went on top.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
actually pays his
All
meal.
right. So before we
Sure.
before we talk about that, I'm pretty sure, what Luffy gets knocked out somewhere, like thrown somewhere, and he knocks out.
Yeah,
and
that
he
was
meets
before the
Zoro.
bar.
Oh,
Zoro.
okay. Well, at some point, Luffy is just sleeping and meets Zoro, or he meets Zoro somehow. I forget.
Yeah,
he meets
and,
up
and
with
they
Zoro.
go to eat, but
And-
Zoro
Yeah.
like loses his money or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
back
both
on
didn't
that.
have money, and then that's when they get Buggy to pay.
Yeah.
On accident.
And they even didn't thank him.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you
Buggy's
for
like, Buggy's like, yeah, go ahead. And it's like, wait a minute,
That's
Sudden
when
moment of
he realized,
realization.
kill him.
And then they do the same thing again, where Buggy's trying to look for Luffy, and Luffy's trying to look for the execution platform, and Luffy's just like ducking under Buggy's. They're both looking in front of him, both
That-
looking the opposite way, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's over that way." He's like, "Thanks."
That's just comical, man.
There's so many good like little parts in it that's in One Piece that are just so funny, like just pure comedy.
That was gold.
Okay, we're getting to the dude I want to talk about, the mystery man.
Oh, mystery.
Oh, hold up. We,
Hold up.
Before,
So wait,
Still
did-
got-
did
still
we-
got a list.
did we talk about Buggy capturing Luffy for the execution?
Yeah, so I think we kind of like didn't
Yeah,
really.
that's when Luffy actually gets to the execution point, and then he's looking where Roger was standing, or sitting, or kneeling, whichever one you prefer. Anyway, that's when Buggy and his crew find Luffy, and they actually put him into the guillotine stuff, along with Alvida and her pirates. That's when they all meet up, and now that happened, a whole storm approach, a whole storm, and everybody's trying to head to the ship.
Well, before that,
How
Buggy's
do you like it?
speech was, you wanted to be king of the pirates. Well, you get to see exactly what he saw at the end, and that's when Buggy's gonna kill him.
Yeah, but how do you like what's her name's fruit? I forget her.
Oh yeah, I forgot Alvida. It's the
her, like
slip.
Slim.
It's a slip.
Slim.
No, it's a slip. So
Dude, I
she
forgot she had a fruit.
she slipped all the fat off of her.
The slip. I get the slip.
Oh, I forgot about Alvida. That's when Alvida comes through, sees Luffy, and then goes like, "You're the only man that would rough handle a woman or whatever, and you're my kind of man." Something like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm surprised. Wait, didn't she start fighting Buggy at the end when he was going to execute her? Him?
No.
No.
I recall, if I recall, Luffy goes, "You're not Alvida. The Alvida I knew was fat."
Well, I guess I seem to slim down a bit. And
With the Slim Sim.
Ow.
After
She-
you
she's-
punched me into another galaxy, like
But yeah. So then the storm brews up, and Luffy gets saved by a bolt of lightning. But actually,
hold on,
before that,
hold on. Let me interrupt them. So, before all of this, you already got the Marines on the outside surrounding, right?
yeah, they're,
Oh yeah,
That's
they're-
Smoker
yes,
That's
snipers.
observing Luffy, and he's already on to because there's just like something about pirate that
Yeah.
like you can tell it like sparks his curiosity.
Hey, and then that storm comes. When he was on the execution platform and Buggy was going to execute her, and then the storm comes. I had no idea what was going to happen. Personally,
He ends it with, "Listen, I'm gonna be king of the pirates," and then he smiles and said, "Guys, I'm dead."
Yeah, right as Zoro and
Yeah, they all come in, and then the lightning strikes.
Guns.
Well, at the same time, Zoro and they all got together, like the crew, and they decided Zoro's gonna go try to find Luffy. Sanji overhears it, goes back to help Zoro find Luffy's at the execution block, and at the same time, Nami and Usopp are running back to the ship, and they all know about the Marines. And at one point, Nami and Usopp are running, and then Nami says, well, they're probably already at the docks taking care of the Mary, so we can't leave. And the second Usopp hears something about the Mary, he takes off.
Mm-hmm.
He went into like third gear and ran his ass off right into the ship. He's like, "You're going so slow, Nami. Come on!"
And he
I
even
thought
had
that was funny.
Sanji's prize. No, yeah, Sanji's prize.
Yeah, Usopp wanted to drop it, and Nami said, "No, we can't."
hey, that turned out
You
into
get a
some
burst
good
better.
food, but that's later on. Anyway,
Which again, I can't try.
So now, at this point, Smoker sees Luffy smile, and you have the lightning save Luffy as he's about to get his neck chopped off because he gets attracted by Buggy's sword.
hmm
Yeah.
Does it really though?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I think it was just fate. I think
Because
it was
the
Smoker
mystery
himself.
man, and then Smoker seems to know him, and he seems to have like some type of control of weather.
yeah.
And then we already seen
Oh yeah.
like gum fruits.
Well,
that's something
let's go back to after the stuff.
Execution.
After the execution and Luffy gets saved, you now have Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy versus the Marines and Smoker.
Yes.
And then you have Velveeta and Buggy's crews. They're fighting the Marines as well. And at that point, Luffy tells Zoro and Sanji, we're just going to leave. And that's when you have Smoker go, Tashigi, I'm after the Straw Hats. And Tashigi goes, me too. And then you get Luffy versus Smoker. And then you get Tashigi versus Zoro.
Smoker was
Smoker.
so badass in that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, bro.
He was
would've had him.
crazy. Yeah, if the mystery man didn't come,
Smoker would have killed.
Well,
Luffy.
we
Yeah,
know his
it's-
name is Dragon.
oh, we do. Okay.
Yeah, because Smoker says Dragon. So we
Okay.
know it's Dragon. We don't know anything about him.
But wait. Before anything, before we even get into Dragon, let's go back to when Buggy was, shocked by lightning, and then, Smoker seeing that Luffy smiled. He said, "Have you ever seen a man that smiled on that platform?" To one of his Marine, one of his right-hand man, he said, "No,
Other than Golden Roger.
other than Golden Roger."
Well, the young Marine didn't
Yeah, right.
see that. He just said no, never.
Yeah.
And then
Probably.
that's when Smoker goes, the only other man I've known to do that was Gold Roger.
hmm And he's
That's-
like, the winds are blowing.
I want to say things, but it's spoilers. Anyways,
But then the wind, like the winds from Dragon, or it could have been for something. The winds from whatever was making it go the right way for them to go to the Grand Line. And he was like, it's like the heavens get his wish. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was crazy.
So then you get, after that, and after the Straw Hats are fleeing to the ship before the Marines can stop it, you have Luffy versus Smoker. Smoker was completely destroying that fight. Luffy has stood no chance. And this is the first time you're seeing an actual Marine captain. This is the
In
strength
battle.
of a Marine captain.
Yeah.
Because you had Captain Morgan, who was a wimp, but this is like a Grand Line captain.
Yeah, no, not even Grand Line. I believe the Grand Line. I can't say anything. Crap.
I would say Smoker is one of the top.
Yeah, captains.
He's one of the stronger captains you'll meet.
He's
So-
like the practice rounds before you even
No, not even.
Close.
No, not even.
not like a practice round, but
Smoker's like the main
He's top
Marine
class.
captain.
He's top
he's like the end boss of
captains.
the beginning part of like a video game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I-
He's like the guy you meet at the
But I'm just
beginning.
gonna play along.
It's not the actual end. boss,
I'll
it's, like,
go
one
with
of
you.
the-
I'll go with you here. But
He's like
anyways,
the boss that you get down to low health, and then the boss just flees.
There you
And
go.
oh my
Yeah.
god.
Okay, that's just annoying.
Anyways,
But the boss not fleeing, Luffy is.
Anyway.
let's stay on topic. We do have quite a bit more to cover.
We do have
Anyways, so once Luffy's fully captured by Smoker, a gust of wind comes and saves Luffy, and you have the Mystery Man. So here's my question to Tony and Pan. Who do you think the Mystery Man is? What are your thoughts on him?
I love this.
Okay, well, you said it's Dragon.
Well,
No,
his name is Dragon.
Yeah, his name is Dragon.
I'm assuming he could be somehow like on par with Mihawk,
Okay.
or like maybe like that's how they know. They're like one of those pirates that like goes through the Grand Line without a problem.
Oh, the 7 warlords of the sea? 7.
No,
Okay.
don't mention that.
Well,
Wait, we're not into that.
the seven warlords of the sea was already mentioned when Zoro
Yeah.
fought
Okay,
Mihawk.
never mind. But he's not a warlord.
You
I don't
actually,
know. I feel like because think about it. First Mihawk interferes with Zoro. Doesn't fate put them together? Call it whatever you want, right? And he says we'll meet again, right? He spares his life. He lets him live, and then you get Dragon on Luffy. Similar thing, mystery character. You don't know much about him. Comes to interfere with one of the characters on the Straw Hat crew to help him continue on.
So, just to be clear,
Where-
are you saying you think he's one of the 7 warlords?
Yeah.
no,
You
Because
don't
I'm
think that?
saying
Because Mihawk's one.
Yeah, Mihawk's a 7 warlord. That was discussed during that arc. The
okay.
Dawn guy.
So, what are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is like I don't know. I feel like out of the Straw Hat crew so far, you got Zoro and Luffy like 100% the top 2, right?
Well, that's very debatable between. Some people think Sanji's stronger than Zoro. I'm personally Zoro all the way.
I'm Zoro all the way. Anyways, discussion for another. What I'm trying to say is these 2 characters have gotten help from like enemies. Does that make sense?
Right?
I don't know. It's just, it's because I don't know enough to actually like.
I
A full
think I've
thought
told
of
you
it.
this in person, but I don't think I've told you this during the podcast. Same with Pan. Do not forget characters.
Never.
The show's writer, Oda, is extremely, like, he doesn't forget characters. So, like, for example, I'll bring up,
Oh, we're gonna talk about him later in the podcast.
Okay. we'll talk about
Uh,
we'll talk about this later, but don't forget characters. That's all I can say. But yeah. So so
I think he's just watching Luffy from the heavens.
what about you?
That's
Tom?
what I'm trying
What
to
are your
say.
thoughts on the Mystery Man?
I think I remember there was one more person with the Mystery Man, but I'm not sure.
No, Mystery Man was alone.
Okay.
I can guarantee that.
This is a really, really
Yeah.
stretch. No pun intended.
You cut out. Say it again.
You cut out.
Ah, this is a really, really far stretch. No pun
Okay.
intended.
Okay.
I think it's one of Shanks's crew members
Oh.
helping Luffy get through the Grand Line, interfering.
I don't.
Okay.
He cheated. He heard my theory first.
What?
Tony likes your theory better.
Even though, okay,
Carry on.
even though I know who Dragon is, I have something to contradict that theory. Is that Shanks said when they were meeting with Shanks and Luffy, I believe he said that he wanted him to become a pirate by himself. That's why he didn't let him join.
Yeah, true.
Shanks'
Yeah, it doesn't
crew,
mean
so-
he won't help him.
But by himself.
All right. Either way.
That's a good guess.
So now after Dragon's help, the Straw Hats are free to escape,
Yeah.
And-
they leave.
Indeed.
and they leave. And as they're leaving, you get the bounty reveals, but we already knew Luffy's bounty. But then you get didn't Zoro? No.
Usopp was in the background.
Yeah,
Zoro
but-
didn't. Zoro doesn't get a bounty.
Oh, he doesn't get a bounty yet.
No.
Okay,
He
but
doesn't-
you get the reactions from like the East Blue of Luffy's bounty at this point.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you get do you get Luffy's
You get Kobe.
hometowns?
Yes.
Yeah.
You get Luffy's
You get the whole bar.
hometowns. You get
You get
Luffy's
Kobe.
hometown reaction. You get
Yeah,
Colby's
you-
reaction.
And
You
you get
get-
Shanks' reaction.
Well,
No,
you
you get,
not no you don't get
Not
Shanks'
yet, not
reaction.
Yet, not yet.
Not yet.
You get.
Don't you get I don't know the Marines from when
Oh yeah, they discuss it. They discuss it,
yeah.
and you get that part.
Are
I
you
think
talking?
they-
Are you talking about? Oh yeah, when they're
They
discussing his
discuss
bounty.
Luffy's bounty, and then they send it out, and that's when we get. No, that's before Logtown. They discuss
Well,
it, I believe.
didn't they show all three characters Luffy's beaten so far? So he beat Captain Kurto. They had his bounty up. They had Don Krieg's, and then they had Arlong's.
Yeah.
And then when they
Hey,
finished
thanks,
No,
discussing-
and Buggy.
Yeah, they briefly discussed about Buggy, but they didn't
No, if he was
came
confirmed.
back. Yeah.
and then that's when they gave him the 30 million berry bounty. What were your?
Yeah.
Because I don't think we talked about this in the last podcast. For all three of you, what were your like? How shocked were you when you saw his original bounty?
I thought it was much lower
Luffy's?
than expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not surprising. I mean, at this point, he had to had something good. But it's like he's been defeating most of his enemies with ease.
That's
So,
true.
yeah.
No.
At this point, his toughest opponent was Arlong, and he,
No, Don Krieg
And that's
was
because he has a
very
blow.
tough.
I don't.
Like,
No, Don
pretty
Krieg was not that tough.
Are you kidding? Are you
Debatable.
He struggled more with Arlong
Oh, yeah, he struggled
that's
more
because
with
he
the
got himself
freaking
stuck.
bullets.
and ground, and he was like, "Nope, I'm stuck." They took half an hour to
Nope,
take him
I'm
out.
Yeah, but like I honestly, in the East Blue, besides Smoker, if you want to count Smoker part of the East Blue, I don't think Luffy had any real challenge in the East Blue.
Okay.
Not really. No.
Like he didn't have anything besides Arlong Park. There was nothing he really took too seriously.
Mhm.
Like when he was fighting Arlong, the whole time he was like, maybe I'll take the teeth and put it in my mouth and like mess around. Like I don't think.
Yeah, until he found out that he was abusing Nami. That's when he took it seriously and ended.
Well,
Yeah.
as serious as Luffy can get.
Yeah.
Like
Okay, going back to the actual
yeah,
part, we've covered some of that in the last podcast. When Mihawk walks
Go watch.
through the
It's on the channel.
yeah,
Oh, if we're talking about Mihawk, hold up. So you cut to an island, a random island, and you see 3-4 guys with a telescope zoom in, and they get scared, and then it cuts to their zoomed in scope, and it's Mihawk, just strolling up to an island.
I-
And his
Badass.
actual
yeah,
canoe.
his sword is amazing, and like the cross on it and everything.
The candles are always burning somehow. And then when he finally lands on the island, he just goes, "I'm not here for you. Show me your boss." And they run.
He just has a piercing eye.
Right?
And my personal favorite person in Shake's crew is probably that big fat guy that used to freaking.
Anyways, so it turns out that Mihawk went to go see Shanks. And you just see Shanks, because this is your first clue. Shanks goes, "Are you here for to challenge me, Mihawk?" Or Hawkeyes, or whatever.
Yeah.
And Hawkeye just went, "Not today." Or, "I'm not in a mood to fight someone with only one arm."
Which also gives us some perspective into Shank's strength. Because
So-
we don't really see much of his battles.
So,
But
Except with that.
all I can tell you is that they duel. They dueled in the past. I'm not going any further than that. But
most, you know,
Shanks is very, like, he's Mihawk's at least level.
No, not at least.
no. Wait, you're already spoiling. Shut up.
But
Okay.
anyways, you get Shanks all pissed off. And like, "I'm not in the mood, dude. Like, don't mess with me today." And then you have Hawkeye, just go. I remember a story you used to tell me about a little boy, and shows the bounty, and you just see everyone just lighten up, and Shanks just got super happy.
Bro, honestly, like, this is how I feel about Shanks and Mihawk. They're like
You cut out.
they're like Naruto and Sasuke, Shanks and Mihawk.
Okay.
That I would say
His only basis on Shanks so far is
strong. Boy.
the only thing he has off of this is this island. So I accept like that's a very fair
That's
Like
perspective.
right now, like Shanks's, happiness and wanting Luffy to be, up higher on his own, and then Mihawk is into drinks. I just wanted to show you this because it reminded me of the story.
The
Oh.
actual colors actually fit in with the theme.
Also,
To be honest.
I believe when we met Mihawk and introduced the 7 warlords of the sea, didn't we see like outlines of the other 7 warlords?
Yes,
So
we
at
did.
this point in time, well, not at this point, but a little bit further when we get to Whiskey Peak, there's 3 known warlords so far. Do you guys know the 3? So at the
Is
end of Whiskey
Crocodile one of
Peak,
them?
Crocodile is one of them. You get introduced at the end of.
Rock.
You got Crocodile. You got Mihawk. Do you
Mihawk.
guys remember the 3rd one that was named as you're going to Arlong Park?
No.
Not at all.
There was one that was named on your way to Arlong Park. It's Jinbei.
Oh, I have a question, but I can't say it.
Don't say it.
Don't say it. But Jinbei was the 3rd warlord that was announced. That was by, I think, Yosaku or Johnny, whichever one was on the boat. He mentioned it when he was talking about Arlong Park or something.
I think
So-
I remember that.
So,
Hold on, is Mihawk seriously a warlord?
yes, Mihawk's a warlord.
How did I miss this?
It was very briefly touched upon by Zeph.
Huh.
So yeah, so those are the 3 out of the 7 warlords we know of right now. Yeah, fun fact.
Well, we know for the people watching the podcast. Because I know that you know that I know stuff. Carry on.
Anyways,
Either
so
way.
yeah, what were your thoughts on like seeing Shanks again? Was it like, were you hyped about it? Were you excited? Because anytime Shanks is up, you get hyped.
I thought he was going to be reintroduced and like when he was like
You
going into
cut
the
out.
Grand Line. Oh, I thought he was going to meet Luffy when he was going into the Grand Line, like right when he enters the Reverse Mountain. That's what I thought was going to happen.
What, Pan,
Uh,
Tony?
I
Okay.
just want to know, like, what is this guy actually capable of? Because he's just chill and, like,
Yeah.
drinking most of the time. And not actually having to care for fight or treasure. So it's like, what do you do? And why are you so badass? Yet I don't know why you're badass.
But yeah,
Like-
you just know he's a badass character.
I also feel
Don't know
bad.
why.
I also feel bad for Shanks though.
Why do you feel
Yes.
bad?
Because when Hawkeye said, I'm not in the mood to fight a guy with one arm, I believe that you said they fought in the past with him. I believe they only fought before he
So
lost his 2 arms. to Luffy.
that is something that is very discussed currently, even fully caught up. Like, is Shanks stronger with 2 arms or just with 1? And I believe the creator of the show came out and said he's actually stronger now with 1 arm.
Huh?
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's just
I don't talk anymore because I haven't seen this fight.
that wasn't that was the comment I just made was not in the show at all. So
Yeah.
that is just what the creator came out and said.
Huh.
So that's not spoiling anything at all. I'm just letting you know.
It's just, I was just still really sad about that. That poor Luffy made him lose his arm and no one would fight him now.
But yeah. So
And
at this point in the time,
I
what
don't
like
think you're crying about Redfoot Tech.
what are your yeah, he retired though. What are your thoughts like on Shanks then? Well, yeah, you guys said that. Never mind. I already said
No,
that.
Pan
It's
didn't.
Pan's turn.
Pan-
Oh yeah,
Pan-
Pan didn't say anything yet.
It was kind of underwhelming. I'm
He
gonna
has
be honest. Like
He has a point.
you see these 2 like just hyped up characters, and then all of a sudden they're drinking beer. It's just like the buggy and the
Woman.
yeah.
Alita?
No, the
And like you
Jack
won't.
Box.
Oh yeah, you
it
won't
was
see.
just like that. It was just like they're both talking about Luffy, but they don't know that they're talking about Luffy. It's just like these two. And I was just, huh. I don't know. It was kind of underwhelming, but it was like pretty cool at the same time that they weren't going to fight and just chill, just talk about
Well, Pat-
Luffy's bounty.
And I will say this: I used to be with you, but right now I'm at a point in the show where they're revealing more things about him, and that's why I'm curious.
So
That's all I gotta say.
as the thing that you're gonna, now that you're finally hitting the Grand Line, Pam, and you're about to hit, like, I would say, because right now I would say you're midway towards the end of Little Garden, right?
Yeah.
So at that point of the story, you're getting to the almost to the climax of your first saga, or your second saga, but your first saga in the Grand Line. So after that, when you hit the climax, so much information is thrown at you, but it's not complete. So like the storytelling and the storyboarding of the entire show is insane. That's why I'm telling you, don't forget characters. Like a perfect example is you beat Buggy, but now you're meeting Buggy again in Loguetown.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
you can't be like, oh, I have to forget about Colby. No, Colby's actually showing up now. It's just like you can't forget about these characters because even though their path may seem different, they might meet up again, or they might meet up with a second character that you didn't know.
Yeah.
So it's just like very interesting and like it's just, I think it's awesome the way information's shown to the viewer. But yeah.
So now we're on to like the warship arc, right?
This is, I actually forget this completely. So I have to kind of let Pan take over here.
Okay.
And while you do that, I'm going to go get some water.
I'm gonna make a long story short. Hopefully I don't cut out, but I'll try my best. So we get this marine ship while Luffy and the others are going to, and we get this marine ship. I don't know why I keep cutting out. My
You want me to lead it, Pin? I remember.
Yeah, you can go ahead. I'll just add on.
So there's a marine ship. I think it's 3 marine ships, and there's a girl on this marine ship. And this girl on the marine ship is trying to escape. She's taken hostage by it, and there's a storm, and she escapes on a little boat. And later they Luffy and all the others find her, and they take her away, and the marine ship finds this girl again, and they get chased into the calm sea. And this was the calm sea thought had a lot of controversy around it, or the calm belt, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, calm belt.
How you could, if you were able to get on, if you were born in one side, you could pretty much, even in the calm belt, you could get over the calm belt to the One Piece, possibly. And even with all those Sea Kings, just from we saw on how they escaped it with using the Sea Kings as like a catapult, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a little too far forward because during the part where they're escaping, the girl looks at a seagull, and you're hinted at what that girl can do. With knowing that gust of wind will come.
Yeah, that's where Nami kind of figured out.
Yeah.
So quote unquote power was that she was able to, speak with animals.
So Mike, I just came back. I kind of caught the tail end of what you just said, Munchie. So what you're saying is, do you think people could just go through the calm belt with her to get the One Piece?
No, not with her. Because to get out of the calm belt, they just flung out of there very easily. I believe with the Sea King.
So
I believe that you could get flung all the way through it, or with dials.
So that is not to be talked about, what you said at the end.
Oh, sorry.
But here's the problem with that. How the Grand Line is so mysterious, like when like with the storms and the weather, and like how you always need a log post because compasses don't work, and how your ship can turn around without you even noticing. The thing about like nobody can find the final island, which Crocus explains when I'm going a little bit far ahead, but when Crocus is explaining how the Grand Line works, and you choose your path with the log pose, and you come together, and then you get to the second half of the Grand Line, and it's kind of the same thing. But right before you get to the final island, all the lines disappear. It's because no one knows how to get there, which is why it's such a big deal. Like, there's no log poses don't work. They don't do it. I'm kind of jumping a little ahead, but
You don't know what's there.
you can't go across the calm belt to get there.
Got it, because you don't know if there's something there or not.
Exactly. You would be going forever, and you would never find it.
Gotcha.
I'm getting very far ahead, but it's not like I'm spoiling anything.
So, going back to the thing, when they escape the calm belt and they head to their warship island, or it's called, and they go to the warship island, and the girl is not treated kindly. She's treated as like a sin, I guess you could say, like a bad person, part of the island, and by the people, except her grandpa. Her grandpa is great. I love her grandpa.
Although his stories can run on for.
He's worse than a history teacher.
Speaking about his stories going on forever, that's when the whole crew sets up there for the night and listens to the story. And she sneaks out and goes towards the back, right? To the back or something.
Yeah.
And that's when she grabs like the dumplings.
And Nami sees her.
And goes
Was it
check
Nami?
up on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Nami first, and then it was Luffy first.
Yeah,
because he
Luffy.
wanted to check up, and then he fell asleep, and then Nami went, and then that's when they both followed. What's the girl's name anyway?
I think they start with an A. All the names start with an A that I don't remember.
Let's just call her the animal
speaking girl.
animal speaking.
And you meet the millennial dragon, and the millennial dragon wants to find his home. He wants to find his home, so they take the millennial dragon, and I think the Marines come and they run away from the Marines by building a ship.
This is where we meet another guy,
Weren't they?
or this is where we meet Commander Nelson and the sickle gum, not gum, double fruit user.
Yeah.
What's his name?
God,
it's
in filler arc. It's in filler.
It's a filler arc, but basically we meet another double who has a sickle where he, uses nails to make, and they slice things. Anyway, so Luffy and Zoro, right? Who was it that fought him?
I wouldn't know.
No, it was Luffy and Sanji that were, and Usopp were gonna infiltrate the Going Merry to go meet at the peak that looks like Usopp's nose.
Oh yeah.
This is a long filler arc, but
that won't ring the bell. That won't ring.
I'll just due to time,
Okay.
because we are kind of going long. Let's kind of wrap up this
Okay, so they
discussion
go to
on this arc for a little bit.
yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
so
Because
they
we
go
still have
to
to talk about the reverse.
reverse.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go to this island. There's some like pictures on the top of the ceiling dome, and they get attacked by the sickle guy when they're there, and they realize that the Millennial Dragons fly over this place, and they go to the Warship Island. So they head all the way back to Warship Island while being chased by Marines, and then the water like disperses really low, and everything like the big low tide, and all the Millennial Dragons coming over, and they die, and the
That's
new ones are
when
born.
the real Lost Island is revealed after Commander Nelson tries to fire a bunch of cannonballs at the Millennial Dragon. And once it's actually revealed, Nami says it's kind of like a death ground, something along those lines. For
Kind of like a graveyard.
Yeah, graveyard, but I think her name is Asya. Something along those lines.
Yeah, it was Ashi, I think it was.
But she was like, no, that's not supposed to happen this way. And by the way, let's bring it all the way back. Luffy can actually talk to some of the animals as well for some reason.
Yeah, because
Bring it back
he's just
forward.
animal instincts.
All I'm gonna
That's
say
not
about
fun.
that, remember what I said. Don't forget things.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Anyway, but
You know, with
we
the
see-
1,000 episode long series, it's kind of hard.
Oh, the Millennial Dragon's name is Grandpa Ryu. Grandpa Ryu is now laying on Lost Island. He's on his last strand, and that's when he passes away. But really, he's being brought into life because we see an egg crack, and a new Millennial Dragon is born, and many others are. So after that, they find out it is a very happy thing. They are about to go to the ship. That's when we find Commander Nelson talking about the Dragonite, Pokemon. Anyway, he was talking about stealing the Dragonite, and then the sickle guy came out of nowhere, slashes him up, and then what happened to the sickle?
He dies, I think.
What were you? What were your thoughts though?
On that filler arc?
Yeah, we know, like, we can kind of know what happened, but, like, tell me your thoughts.
It was not a bad filler arc. I really enjoyed how they made something so, like, off track be, like, so, on course for everything else. Like, everything crazy. You get brought to this warship island where a filler happens, but it's really just like a story-driven filler.
So
It
you
wasn't-
really enjoyed it? Didn't it show
I-
some crew growth as well? Like growth with the
Yeah,
crew?
very, very good crew growth going on into Reverse Mount, which is
Yeah.
Which
And
is
let's get towards.
You could just say it's like more blind trust.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's get towards Reverse Mountain now. Woo!
Alright, so for Reverse Mountain, as they're going in, there's a storm, a really bad storm, and Nami says that, what was it, Zeph said there's a lighthouse or something? Or someone told Nami there's a lighthouse you have to go for. And as the storm goes, the ship gets really crazy wobbly, and that's when Nami explains you actually have to go up the mountain through this river and then out the other side.
And with all the whirlpools around it, it's really hard.
And this is an awesome moment for Nami where it shows that like she's actually a really good navigator and can take command of the ship. She's not the captain, but as a navigator she needs to be able to tell people where to go, what to do, and all this other stuff. So I found this was a really good, at least the beginning of the Reverse Mountain, a really, really good arc or a little mini showing for Nami to be like, yeah, she knows what she's doing.
Mhm. Okay, so when we're going up, and Luffy's just insanely surprised by it actually being upwards river, and they head down, and then they
Well,
get swallowed.
hold on. At one point, they go above the clouds, and everyone's shocked. And as they're going up, they tell their goals and smash the barrel.
Wait. Before we even do
Oh,
that,
yeah,
wait.
because of the cross- yeah, I remember.
Wait. Just like Beast told me, don't forget anybody, and y'all forgot. Sickle guy goes onto the ship. And
Oh,
then he's
yeah.
like, how'd you get up here?
Oh, yeah.
forgot about that.
And he's like, you can never get rid of me. And Nami's like, is that some Dragonite? Where? And he said. Anyway, now let's go down the mountain.
All right, so
Okay.
when you get above the clouds and stuff, that's when they make the like everyone puts their foot on the barrel, and Luffy goes, "I'ma be king." Zoro goes, "I'ma
What?
be the greatest swordsman."
Wasn't that before?
Anyways, we're talking. No,
Anyway.
it
No,
was before they hit the peak as they're going up. I remember that.
Yeah.
And Nami goes, "I'm gonna make a
map of the world.
a map of the world," and then
Sanji goes, I'm gonna find the all blue, and then Usopp goes, I'm gonna be a brave warrior of the sea.
yep.
Here's what I'm seeing a similarity in all their goals. All their goals are very, very, very
Distant.
low chance.
Well, the kind of thing, it kind of gets touched upon in a later thing, but you'll notice that every single one of them has different goals, and you, as someone like on the outside, you'd look at them like, doesn't that like strain the relationship of the crew? but it
Complete
kind of
opposite.
it's the opposite. It's where they have so many different goals. They're using each other to find their goals while following Luffy. So like they'll follow Luffy, but they're all doing their own separate things. And when you get into like, for example, Loguetown, they like Sanji goes does the cooking, Zoro goes sword shopping. They're not like following the captain around like a normal crew.
Yeah.
This
There's
is just like an idea for me. I haven't watched that far, but maybe all the crew members complete their dream goals before
no.
I can tell you now.
the last
I can
one.
tell you now. I don't know, but
You don't.
I don't know.
What? Okay.
Dude, One Piece is what at 900. I think it's like 925 on the anime, and we still have like the creator just came out. He's like, I want to end the manga within 5 to 6 years. Meaning the
So
anime
what he's
still
saying-
has another 8 years to be completed.
So what he's saying is, subscribe, leave a like, comment for future content.
Oh
Please
my
stay tuned.
god.
All right.
Keep
Well,
this going.
anyways. So after they make their promises, another thing that I don't know if you guys picked up on yet, but every single crew member has a weakness. But that weakness is covered by another Straw Hat. So like Luffy's intelligence might not all be there, but that's now covered by Nami.
Well, I don't.
Nami's very weak. That gets covered by someone else, and like Usopp's weak, but he's good at certain other things, and like every Straw Hat has a weakness that's covered by another Straw Hat, which I find really fascinating.
And then yeah, and well, if we
Hold
go
on, hold
down.
Hold on. Who would cover Zoro's weakness? Because
Nami. Nami's
Nami navigation. No, no one covers.
Oh wait. He don't. Never mind. You're right.
Zoro
no
gets
one-
lost. It gets covered by the navigator. Everyone's weakness gets covered.
Personally, now I do not think anyone is covering Luffy's weakest night round, except like the whole crew is actually covering his weakness in just being dumb.
Yeah.
I don't think Luffy's. I think he's very.
He
It's
Is
he has like a
very
dense
oblivious.
intelligence. He has a
Yeah.
dense intelligence. The way I view
Yeah,
it.
because whenever something's explained to him, he's like, "Okay, I get it, but I don't get it," and he just pushes it off, and it's a very go-lucky guy.
All right.
Yeah.
So after they all say their goals and stuff, you get to the top, and as they're coming down, they have this real rush of going through the clouds again, but this time it's full speed, and they see a wall, and they hear the wails of a whale, if you would say,
of a whale.
and it ends
like
up
that.
being Laboon, but they all thought it was a giant wall at the end.
Hmm.
So yeah.
And then Luffy just slaps the eye of a whale and just gets eaten.
And then you meet Crocus, the biggest troll in the world.
I thought Crocus was a seven lord.
Yo, okay, so I don't. Did they mention anything about Crocus?
No, they mentioned how he the only part that they mentioned was like Laboon's backstory. He just mentioned how he was always the guardian of the lighthouse, and he saw many people go through. But
Oh, okay, but yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on Laboon and Crocus? Because when you go to Reverse Mount, you find out about the log pose.
I only have one question for him. How do you keep the whale alive while operating on him? Besides that,
Well,
Doctor.
I don't know if they said it, but he's a doctor.
Yeah. He's a
Crocus
doctor,
is-
he's able to.
Crocus is a doctor. I think he said it in this part. I'm not sure, but he did go.
He does say it in one of the episodes.
He did go on a journey a while ago.
Yeah.
I believe the backstory of Crocus. Oh, we also meet what's her name, Miss Wednesday and Mister Eight Nine. Yeah,
Was it 9?
yeah.
Yeah, 9.
Okay.
It was 9. I thought that was a very good. I actually really liked that part where they like tried to assassinate him and like I think accidentally stops him or something like that.
Honestly, that they gave me heavy Jesse and James vibes. Heavy.
Well, I have two
Same.
things. I have two things to say. One, did you guys pick up on the fact that Laboon was actually with a crew prior?
Yes.
and how
Yes.
he came into the Grand Line, and now he's making that
baby.
same promise to.
Luffy.
Well, Luffy started fighting Laboon, and Luffy made the promise, we'll come back and fight you. But before all of that, you have the biggest troll moment, where Crocus comes out with a cannon pointed to him, and he goes, if you shoot that, somebody's gonna die. And then Sanji, all nervous, like, goes, yeah, who's that? Me, of course. Oh, that was such a troll moment. And then he goes to Zoro, and he goes, when you barge into someone's place, isn't it courtesy to say your name first? And then Zoro goes, you're right.
Mom.
My name is... And Zoro continues to go.
If you want to know what my name is,
Well, and then Crocus continues to go. My name is Crocus. I am blood type AB. I'm currently 71 years old. Like, just goes on this rant, and Zoro just gets pissed because he was like, I was supposed to do that."
what did Usopp get mad for? God, what he said to.
I don't think Usopp got mad there. I think he was holding
he
back.
did.
I think I don't remember.
No,
It's
he
probably,
got
you see, I think he was still mad about getting stuck in a whale's body and like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I think Usopp was the one
Oh,
that noticed
yo,
that the
no.
paintings.
yeah.
No.
We're not moving.
He got mad because the door was right in front of him, and he's like, "You're telling me."
So, pretty much after all of that, because we do have to wrap this up. We can't drag this on too much longer.
Yeah.
So after this, we now have Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine joining the Straw Hats.
Well,
But
Captain.
prior to that, Nami receives the log post from Crocus. She receives the log post from Crocus. Luffy ends up breaking it, but luckily there was an extra.
Yeah, Mr. Nine.
So yeah, now the Straw Hats, after making the promise to Laboon and painting that really amazing straw hat, Jolly Roger.
Master.
Better than Usopp's.
So now the
Better
Straw
than
Hats,
Mozart's.
Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and including their guests who are tagging along, Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine, they're heading off. And Whiskey Peak, and we will end it there. And okay, so at that point, because we are a little bit further ahead, at that point, Pan and Tony and Munchie, 1 to 10, your thoughts on the series and top 5 characters at the end of Reverse Mountain.
Oh, I wish we got the.
So,
I go first.
yeah, sure, you can go first.
Okay. So,
At the end of Reverse Mountain, not any further.
okay, yeah, I know. So, number 1, I have to put Zoro.
Yes.
Number 2, I'm putting Smoker.
Okay.
Number 3, I'm putting Shanks.
Ooh.
Number 4, Dragon.
Okay.
Really?
Number 5, yes. Number 5, Mihawk. That's my top.
So that's a big change from your stuff last time, because last time you had Mihawk number 1.
Indeed.
And I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised. Dragon. Can you explain Dragon though?
Yeah.
Like, why Dragon is
Yeah,
number
it
3?
It was no coincidence. It wasn't fate. I know for a fact that dude has some type of devil fruit power that may have interfered with Luffy's death and let him escape and go into the Grand Line. And I want to know why.
So do
Like,
we.
I want to know why.
So do I. so,
do I.
so do
Oh,
I.
God. That's not promising. And thoughts so far, I am really liking the show. I mean, even like after the Grand Line, because I'm a little bit over that. But prior to this, it's just like they kind of like tease at things. You know what I mean? They make the crew grow together as they get stronger together progressively as well, and then they introduce new characters, and little by little they like leave information on
Right.
them. So it's like just very well planned out.
And
From the start.
to kind of piggyback off of that thought, you also have like each individual island is it's its own world.
Mhm.
So that kind of helps keep your mind into it, because like, what's the next island gonna be like? Are we gonna be fighting dinosaurs next island? Are we gonna be like going to like some like it's crazy. Every single island you go to is it's like its own little world, its own time frame, so that helps keep the interest going.
It keeps it kind of fresh.
And
so
each
it doesn't
each
get
island
repetitive.
you go to helps build the idea of the world. So like each place gives you like a new understanding of how the world works of One Piece. And that's why I think it's so great as well as the world building of One Piece world. Sorry, I
Right.
kind of took over your thoughts there.
No,
but-
no, that's fine. That was about it. Thanks.
I'll do my top 5. So I know it's a little cliche and all, but my favorite is like still Luffy even now. I love him as a character. I think he's hilarious and how dumb he is. I can relate. For my second, it's probably Nami because when she was leaving the Arlong pirates and you stole everyone's wallets, that was one of the hilarious moments for me. I know it's a bit weird, but actually, I like Shanks for my number 3 because I like his intensity and what the
There's
fight with
nothing
that.
weird about that.
There's
absolutely nothing.
That's not the weird part. The weird part is going to be my number 5 or 4. I don't remember.
him. That's the
Uh,
weird part.
I don't know my number 4 actually. It's probably Zoro. I really like Zoro.
My
Dumb
man.
character. But I think my number 5 is Colby. I just loved how wimpy he was. I still love him now, even where I am. I loved Colby.
Okay, that was surprising.
Well, I will say where he's at, there's a lot more to Colby, but I can understand where he's coming from. Anyways, the man who is the furthest behind, the one who just finished
The man,
Reverse
the
Mountain.
myth, the legend.
Pan. I want your top 5. I want a 1 out of 10 from you, and your overall thoughts. Because Tony and hold up before we do that, Tony, well, 1 to 10 after Reverse Mountain, the entire show.
Hmm?
Rank it like how you thought about the shows. 1 out of 10 the show after
Oh,
Reverse
okay.
Mountain. Tony,
Oh,
Hello?
I thought it was after Pan. Sorry.
no, Pan's
So-
gonna be after. You guys just didn't do it.
No, what about me?
If I put
Yeah.
if I put the arc that I'm currently on aside,
After Reverse Mountain. No, I'm sorry. At Reverse Mountain.
okay, the rating at that point.
Yes.
Oh, never mind. On that note, I would give it an 8
Okay.
out of 10.
Okay, for me, the reason for this one is I enjoy it. It's an 8. It's not. It's probably one of the best animes, but I believe the characters' backstories are really repetitive.
At this
I'm
point
kidding.
or
No,
overall?
No, I'm kidding.
I was about to say because it's overall. You and I had that discussion already.
I got reamed. It was terrible.
I was gonna say you just told me you got done crying. You can't tell me.
Oh yeah, I cried. It was such a.
Oh, I'm sure these two will say the same thing.
You should have
Anyways,
recorded and
1 to
then,
10.
make sure
1 to 10 at Reverse Mountain.
Okay, what's the 10 at Reverse Mountain? I would say an 8 because at one point during the fight or whatever, I got kind of bored, but
You
then
go
I got back. Oh, I got kind of bored during the Arlong fight or something around that part, and I think I stopped watching about it, so that's why mine's at an 8.
Okay. All right,
Now?
man.
Guess this
Now
my
the
turn.
man,
the,
the legend. Don't worry,
Alright.
we'll save the best for last.
So, this arc alone, so far my favorite. 9.5.
Wait, are you talking about when you say arc? What are you talking about?
Like from after Arlong Park all the way up to Reverse Mountain, 9 out of 10.
Really?
Or
Oh.
9.5.
So everything we covered in this podcast, you're giving 9 out of
I love it. I
Ooh,
love it.
I like
was
it.
It was a very good start. Like the start of One Piece was like an 8 for me. This phenomenal. 9.5.
I think Munchie and Tony can agree. The current saga you're on, it elevates your appreciation for the show.
Definitely.
Can you two
Mm-hmm.
agree?
Oh yeah, but personally, I thought the first part was hilarious, where he literally just arrives in a barrel.
Anyways,
That's amazing.
all right. So
Listen, the only
9
reason
and a
I'm giving
half.
an 8 out of 10 to the show is because I'm a Dragon Ball fanboy. Okay, that's it.
all right, we have some bias in this podcast, but anyways, Pan.
Okay, so we're gonna get rid of
Let's.
him.
All right,
Hold
Pan.
on.
All right, Pan. So you said you gave it a 9.5. So top 5 characters and thoughts on the show.
Top 5. Where do I even begin? Number 5. Mihawk.
Okay.
4. Shanks.
Ooh.
3. Smoker.
Ooh.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree.
2. Zoro.
Okay. Who's number 1 though?
Usopp.
If you're putting someone over Zoro, I want to know.
I think I know who it is. I think I know who it is.
Y'all gonna laugh when you hear this.
Ashia.
Laboon the whale, come on now.
Oh my god!
Come on.
Alright, so Zoro's actually number 1. I'll take that.
What do you mean? Laboon was a great character. Freaking down in the wall. That guy has guts.
Oh my god. Alright.
Changing my list.
Alright, so thank you guys for watching. Next podcast will actually be in 2 weeks. We're doing bi-weekly now, so it's less watch. I would say it's less strain for people like Zeke and other people to actually watch.
Literally 11 episodes.
Well, we're covering everything from Whiskey Peak to End of Drum Island. And then
Yes!
after that, we're going we'll talk about it next time. But the next podcast afterwards is going to be pretty long. So that's why we're switching into bi-weekly for the longer arcs we can cover in one without having to
Got it.
split it up to 2.
Got it.
It's like the current arc you were in Munchie. We can split that up into 2
Oh, yeah,
instead of
this one
having
is
to do
so
4.
long.
That's why
'Cause
we
I
would
have to
split. We'd have to do like 4 different podcasts for that. Now we're only gonna have to do 2.
Got it.
So it's just easier on everyone. And we're also going to be, since we're doing it bi-weekly, we're also going to be releasing 2 new podcasts. We'll be doing a My Hero podcast and also a Black Clover podcast. So keep a lookout for that. And also a Dr. Stone and Assassination Classroom podcast might be in the works. No promises. So good. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Any final words from you 3?
Please stay tuned. Leave a
Thank
comment. Subscribe. You know, we appreciate the feedback. We could use the criticism if you guys want us to add any specific animes to the channel to actually do a podcast on it. Just leave it down below. We'll definitely keep in track of it.
Yeah,
And if
definitely
you want-
recommend new stuff.
And if you want people not to cut me off as much, that'd be great. Also, we should.
All right, Pan, what'd you say? What were your thoughts, Pan?
Okay, shut up. I thought I was just gonna be. I was just
Yeah,
gonna
so, man, how's your day going, man?
All right, let him talk.
And I also believe, because Irish, I know you lead a lot of it, but I believe we should have more people lead the basis of it. Even though I know you've watched it all, I believe we should have more various people.
I think we are.
I think for the next one, I was gonna recommend Pan. You control it because you're the one who's going to be experiencing the most recent and newest.
Oh, that's
So
true.
it would be good for you to kind of lead the next one, whereas I'm kind of like not fully in it. I'm going to be rewatching this with you, but I feel like you watching it for the first time are going to be looking for different things I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Because a lot of, like I said, a lot of stuff gets called back. So like when I'm watching it, I'm going to be viewing it differently than how you're viewing it. So having you lead off and kind of do that would be kind of interesting and cool for next podcast.
All right.
So yeah, Pan, what were your final thoughts?
Guilty.
I'll do it again.
Oh my god. Alright, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Have a nice one.